Hello everyone. I want to first thank the organizers for the leadership to organize this workshop and the invitation to discuss about this timely topic. It's a great pleasure to be here and share some of our works on attention in AI tasks. I will first give a brief introduction of our research and then talk about attention and its use in vision and language tasks. Here are some motivating applications of our research. Broadly, our goals are designing, developing, and deploying vision-based AI systems that augment and enhance humans. In the last 15 years, we work primarily on computer vision and machine learning. In computer vision, we study conventional problems including attention, recognition, and scene understanding. We also work on emergent topics intersecting other sub-areas of AI, including reasoning, language, and robotics. In machine learning, we develop new methods primarily motivated to address challenges in vision and clinical problems. Recent topics include deep neural network development and understanding, representation learning, and reinforcement learning. We also design enabling experimental methods and develop new high-quality large-scale datasets. They integrate well to successfully address exciting applications from multiple domains. Some are interdisciplinary, for example, understanding and screening mental disorders, and decoding neuron signals to restore hands for amputee patients, and so on. In this talk, I will focus on attention as an example, introducing our contributions in attention research and its use in AI tasks. Attention, both human and system attention, plays a critical role in video conferencing. So broadly, everyone knows what attention is. I borrowed the working definition of selective attention from William James, one of the fathers of American psychology. He says more than 100 years ago that we all know attention. It implies a withdrawal from some things in order to deal effectively with others. The input to our retina is simply much more than our brain can handle in real time, so I have to choose what to attend to react in real time. It has an evolutionary significance. Same for the machines, with the overwhelming amount of sensory data. Knowing where to look, making inferences, and acting accordingly is critical to a vision-based AI system to assist or interact with humans with greater autonomy. This also causes all sorts of economic, social, and maybe political interest for people who would like to control your eyeballs, influencing your reasoning and decision-making. This slide sketches the development of related paradigms. Attention research used predominantly synthetic images before 2006, while the transition to realistic, naturalistic scenes was more recent. In the following, I will introduce several contributions we made in this transition. Here illustrates some of our works that defines and formulates tasks and develops datasets that enable models over the years. Briefly, we addressed several long-lasting challenges in attention research and further pushed the frontier by building this attention capability into machines for them to build a variety of tasks and to visualize and improve the black box decision-making process of AI models. Next, I will elaborate three of the efforts, starting with the Silicon project. Silicon is an ongoing work we started in 2015 that illustrates our effort in attention data and modeling. On the data end, while the development of datasets had progressively pushed forward the state-of-the-art in computer vision, it remained a challenge in attention research, largely due to the reliance on the customized, often expensive eye trackers to record high-quality attention data, making the experiments difficult to scale. To solve this issue, we developed a method to collect attention data with general-purpose devices such as computer mice and touchpad. I'll skip the details, but the new experimental paradigm was carefully designed to motivate mouse movement or touch to reveal where one wants to look at. It has also been thoroughly validated from multiple aspects, such as direct comparison with eye tracking data, the effectiveness in training deep learning models, and benchmarking models. With this new method, we collected a large-scale silicon dataset with crowdsourcing. It contains 1.8 million trials and has been the largest attention dataset, orders of magnitude larger than existing ones since 2015. The dataset has been widely recognized and used, and most state-of-the-art attention models today was trained with it. We also organized workshops and challenges, and the online challenge site has attracted over 600 submissions. On the modeling side, while humans look at important and interesting semantics, looking wisely and selecting the most relevant information from surroundings is never easy for machines. This is a long-lasting challenge, the so-called semantic gap between computational models and humans. Underlying the semantic gap and the motivations of many modeling efforts are the fundamental challenges in machine vision, the huge variability in visual appearance, and the vast space in context and tasks. Imagine that things that draw our attention are not just because of their categories, but also factors like tasks, emotion, ambient scenes, and others. A few years ago, we developed a silicon model that encodes peripheral vision and uses attention-specific objectives. It was also a first fully convolutional architecture for attention prediction, making use of the full map information for model training. It achieved a significant performance increase from the previous record, showing much closer performance to humans, indicated by the red line here. It sets a milestone and shows that attention models are now able to identify important semantics instead of lower-level features. We have developed and maintained a live demo online, where you may go to the demo site, freely upload your own image, and see how the model predicts where you look at. It applies to a wide range of scenes and image types, and has been pretty reliable, making it a widely used one in the last few years. After successes in predicting attention, we take a step further and now connect attention with the AI tasks of interest. This is relatively new and exciting research area. Through analyzing and developing better attention to machines for them to perform tasks, we aim for both enhanced interpretability and task performance. We first explore the role of attention in an array of computer vision and language tasks. Here, I will illustrate it with VQA, visual question answering. In a VQA task, machines answer open-ended questions while viewing an image or video. This is a task that requires an understanding of vision, language, and knowledge, a task where machines have not yet achieved as much. I will also illustrate it with the immersive scenario with omnidirectional view. So visual information comes from all directions, and our subjects can also move their heads and bodies freely to perform the task. This setting mimics real-life embodied scenarios and expands the naturalistic concept that we've been pushing. We first built and released a new IQVA dataset featuring attention and answer correctness in immersive scenes. It includes diverse sources of data with various indoor and outdoor videos and questions of different types and levels of difficulty. Ground truth includes correct and incorrect answers, enabling fine-grained analysis and modeling of attention and answer correctness. Comprehensive experiments reveal interesting findings that show a strong correlation between them. For example, we find that those who answered correctly tend to have focused attention to task-specific areas. In this example, the regions of the four people. And incorrect answers were a result of various reasons. In this example, it is due to the answer grounded in a less salient region. The people are working under the trees. In the real experiments, the details and objects appear bigger and clearer than in the slides, but still not easy to find all relevant information due to information overload from all directions. Second, subjective bias may lead to biased attention. In this video, some people answer car instead of truck without looking to the back of the vehicle. Third, attention can be distracted by visually or semantically similar objects. Here, the street lamp looks like a flagpole as asked in the question. Finally, timing is also a critical factor. Since the scene is changing, just as in our real-life scenarios, looking at the right place at the right time is important. In this example, those missed the train driver as it went by failed to find the correct answer. Here, I pinpoint certain moments for illustration purposes. The original videos are longer and more complicated. So it shows that where to look plays an important role in task performance, and we leverage both correct and incorrect attention for model development. Note that incorrect attention, regions not relevant but tend to attract attention, has been widely ignored, and no prior work leveraged this information for AI tasks. With this new paradigm and data that highlight answer correctness, we for the first time discovered that both attention, knowing where to look and where not to look, help models learn more discriminative semantics important to task success. Specifically, we designed a semantic working memory with attention mechanism to encode the question information and select task-relevant visual semantics over time. We then proposed joint learning correct and incorrect attention with a new fine-grained difference loss. Compared with predicting the two types of attention separately from their respective data, which would also be a possibility, we found that our joint learning is better as it forces a network to learn the differences. Some are subtle, as distractors may be visually or semantically similar to the targets. The new model learns more discriminative spatial temporal features and outperforms the state-of-the-art to predict correct and incorrect attention. Further, leveraging both types of attention brings empirical benefits to various tasks of interest. In this example, knowing where to look improves the capability of a VQE model to answer questions, and also knowing where to avoid further improves the answer accuracy. Next, I will further elaborate this line of research of building attention into AI models and systems to support them to perform different tasks, as well as being an interface to visualize and improve the decision-making process. Despite the considerable performance gains in the past decade, deep neural networks have not yet integrated attention well and may fail to prioritize important visual input for decision-making. For example, to answer this question, what is a man with a backpack holding? These are the areas that we visualize where deep learning models focus on to generate the answer. In addition, existing models take the input scene and output the decision without knowledge about intermediate features used or steps leading to the conclusion. So models are not quite interpretable. We do not know why the answer. In comparison, humans would look for relevant features or objects in the scene and make inferences to answer the question. To answer the same question here, what is a man with a backpack holding? One would probably first look for and select the backpack and identify the man with the backpack, and then locate the object the man was holding, and finally query the name of that object, which is cell phone. I will discuss with you our recent work that aims to develop in models the same kind of capability to sequentially look at relevant information and make inferences to reach an answer. Now, this is a new problem that has not been explored. We therefore built and released the first dataset with progressive attention and reasoning annotations, and ground truth correctness of the answers. Next, we define a metric that quantitatively measures whether areas of focus around the reasoning process make sense. Briefly, we decompose the reasoning process into a sequence of atomic operations we defined, such as select, relate, filter, and several others. At each reasoning step, the accuracy is measured based on the semantic meaning of the operation and its associated regions of interest. Intuitively, the score is higher if where one looks at better aligns with regions of interest, leading to the correct answer. In this particular step, the region of interest is the area of the cell phone. Overall, humans who answered the question correctly attend and reason well, showing high scores along the way. When participants fail to answer the question correctly, their scores typically drop from certain steps. Here, they're distracted by other pedestrians in the scene and miss the relevant targets the question asked. Machines generally show pretty low scores. The defined evaluation matrix allows a unified study of various deep neural networks and answers a series of questions that are of great interest to the community. For example, we report the reasonability of different deep learning models. Overall, they do not look at places important to the reasoning process as well as humans, even when humans answer incorrectly. Among different models, those with object-based attention are typically better than those with spatial attention. We also discovered that existing models typically do not rely as much on relevant regions to answer questions. So the table here shows that the correlation between the answers and where they look are low. Some models depend heavily on language bias in the datasets to answer questions rather than observing the scene. Our spatial temporal analysis also reveals that while humans follow pretty much the correct order of reasoning operations, models tend to directly focus on the final regions of interest, ignoring intermediate steps for answering questions. We further propose a modeling framework that guides machines to progressively attend and reason to answer questions. Here is the example result. To answer the question, what kind of furniture is to the left of the television? The resulting model first looks at and selects the TV, then shifts attention to the furniture on the left and relates it with the TV, and finally queries the furniture to answer the question. Whereas state-of-the-art models do not have the reasoning process and their attention is not necessarily accurate. Overall, the model increases task performance. In this case, models' question answering capability. And equally or even more important in my view is that it shows much increased attention and reasoning capabilities that are typically lacking in existing models. Such capabilities make model more interpretable and may lead to further performance gains, especially with harder tasks. Now, the takeaway from this approach, the thing that will give us the power is the highlight in intermediate steps and correlation to task performance. It allows the identification and the visualization of critical factors in task success. It also provides a new, promising tool to study explainable AI with quantitative support. Over the last few years, we have done a series of works that demonstrated the usefulness of attention in an array of classic vision tasks, such as recognition and detection, as well as language tasks, such as image captioning, storytelling, and answering questions. Attention also helps machines to show emotions. Furthermore, going beyond improving performance and interpretability of these tasks, we also found that knowing where to look reduces data or labels required for training and alleviates adversarial examples. Besides attention, there are other exciting topics that we've been heavily working on in the lab. That includes reasoning with knowledge, vision with planning and action, explainable AI, and machine learning to address clinical challenges. Here in this talk, I briefly introduced some works along a consistent theme of attention, which naturally plays a role in video conferencing. With enhanced capability of identifying, signaling, and following attention, we envision it to improve the experience of future video conferencing in many ways, such as increasing mobility, alleviating visual fatigue, and making the meetings more organized and more fun. Finally, thanks to all my students, advisors, collaborators, and funding agencies who make this talk possible. With that, I would like to thank you all very much for your attention.